Hello, lovely people. Welcome to your favorite show, The Inside View with Nana Higgin. A show that inspires, a show that educates, a show that brings transformation to its people. This month we are celebrating Black History Month, and also we talk about breast cancer. But today we are going to celebrate. I call them Mommy and Daddy. And also I call them the people in our community because their journey is so inspirational that we cannot end the Black History Month without not talking about them. I also call them champions of Black people in Bradford and beyond. They've worked extremely hard and they've paved the way for people like us. They've made our journey very, very easy. And also they've saved lives. Because when mommy comes on and she starts talking about what she's been able to do and also been able to achieve, you bear with me that she's worth celebrating. And tonight, please call our younger girls. Bring out our aunties, our mummies, our young boys, our uncles, and also our daddies to come and listen for themselves. The struggles and also the success stories that these two amazing couples have been able to make available to our communities. Tonight, I have with me a royal from Nigeria, even though they live in the UK. She's from a royal family. And through the work that she's done, she was knighted by the late Queen Mother, Queen Elizabeth. She knighted her. And so she is an MBE. How many people of us, get to, get this opportunity, to be awarded. So it shows what they've done in our communities. So tonight, I have with me Mrs. Dorcas Olayemi Amusan Fagborun. Mommy, please pardon me if I'm not able to, but I think I've tried. Yes, she's an ND, yeah, just like I said. And I have with me my own daddy as well, Dr. Joel Benga Fagborun. If we can just please bring them live. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. They are also, they are co-hostess of Peace Maker International Assembly, and also, I don't want to talk too much. Let's wait for them to talk about themselves. Mommy, I think I'll, like tonight, I'll do you like a disservice if I, talk about your bio, because I might leave some of the salient point out, which I don't want to do because, you've done it. But because of time, maybe I might leave some of the things out. But tonight, I just want you to just talk about yourself, to the world, who you are, and the things that you stand for, and also the things that you've done as well. Yeah, please.
Thank you very much, Nana. You are an amazing woman, and I adore the work you do.
Thank you, Mui.
My name has said by Nana. I always call her my beloved, because that is how I see her, because she's from royal family as well. My name is Princess Dorcas Amusan Fagborun, and I work with Peacemaker International and Women in Safe Hand. And that is the organization that started in 1998 by myself and my husband, because there was nothing for African community in Bradford, and we couldn't find anywhere to turn to. And we saw the gap, the opportunity, and also we were encouraged by one of my tutors, Professor Jana Hammer, encouraged and said, you that we need to do something to support African community in Bradford. Thank you. I don't whether you want me to stop that.
I think at this point let's Daddy also talk. Let's hear from Daddy as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Nana, for inviting us to be able to participate in your program tonight. My name is Dr. Joe Fagborun, and the African middle name is Benga. So Benga Fagborun. Came to this country, that is the UK, in 1987 when I was giving. I always say when we were giving, because the Commonwealth Scholarship, which brought us to the UK, covered the scholar and the wife and the children. That time we had 3, and that was how they put it in the paper of notification that we have been given Commonwealth Scholarship. As they put it, it's a prestigious one. So we were in York for the program, 1987. By 1991, my wife got admission to study peace study in Bradford University. And that was how we moved down from York to Bradford. And since that time, I've been here. And we have one philosophy which we always share with people. If nobody cares to employ you, you must try to create a job. You employ yourself, and if possible, others. And that is what we have been doing. I think you create it, nobody cares. But what about you? After all, you have to care about yourself. You must be able to do something. And we always point it out to us, especially for young people. Everybody has one type of skill or another, if only for you to be a gardener. I mentioned gardening because I love farming. So it could be that. If you are doing it, you'll be able to feed yourself. And if it is well expanded, you'll be able to employ others. So my field of specialization is language and linguistic science.
Thank you so
Recently,
much.
we have just published the first monolingual dictionary of Yoruba. That's my mother tongue. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm super proud and I feel so humbled tonight to have, trailblazers, like you, because you could have, decided not to be bothered about the struggles that, everybody, that seems to go through. But here you are, you took it upon yourselves to make sure that Africa is put back on the map. Not just quietly, but in a very, very phenomenal way. And so, tonight we owe you a lot of appreciation and also a lot of admiration. And so tonight we say thank you. Thank you for making the road so smooth for us. We know, we have, we still have a long way to go. But for the kind of work that you've done, over the years. We say thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much. Thank
And
you.
thank you too for
Yeah, because
bringing us
I could
here
tell
today.
that over the years it was so difficult to even stand up and even speak out against certain things. And you were so brave. And to date, you are still brave. And so we commend you tonight. We say thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
for not
You're
just
welcome.
putting, Africa in your pocket, but then you've been so proud and also comfortable in your skin, comfortable, in your, the way you you speak, the way you talk. I mean, you are not intimidated, and we say thank you, and with like we
Okay.
still thank you for being a role model, to many, both national and also international. We say thank you so much. Thank you. Mommy,
You're
now let's
welcome.
come to you. Yeah. We know that you've been knighted, MB. So we just want to know when you were appointed or when you were given the chance to be awarded. How did you feel? What was the feeling like?
Eh, I think
Did it come as a
I
surprise?
was I was first of all shocked because I was not even in the country at the time I was giving. I because I often I'm a campaigner on the issue of uh, female circumcision, female genital mutilation, and I was away campaigning against FGM when there was a call to my office, and they told them that from the government office, and they told them I was out of the country. So they sent an email, and when I received the email, I was shocked because it was unexpected. Because I was doing what I was doing because I love supporting people, and I dislike injustice. So, and when I receive it and I sent it to one of my children to after I read it to respond to it, and I didn't even know the person that recommended me. It was the day that came out of the London Gazette that my husband met somebody and said, "Oh, my wife was given an MBA," and the person said, "I know," and I was one of the people. I recommended her. So that was the first time, and that was after it was in the paper. I never knew anything. I didn't know that people are writing about me. They were so, and I think I dedicate the award to all of you, because you are all doing amazing work. Not only me, every one of us, because one person can never do it on our own or his own without the support of people like you. So I think the award is meant for all of us. We all should be very proud of it. The award was given for my work with the women and girls and on community cohesion. That was what
Wonderful.
the award is for.
Great. So
And that
because
is
of
the reason
tonight,
why it's all of us, all of you that are doing amazing, brilliant work.
wonderful. I mean, we see both of you as a big, like as a beacon of hope and also full representation of Black people, and we do not take it for granted at all. At all. Tonight we are talking about Black History Month, and here you are, a full advocate female genital mutilation. You've done a lot of work in Bradford and also beyond. And you are well recognized for your strong resistance, or should I say, your strong hatred for this, practice. And not only that, I mean, coming from a royal and also being a victim yourself. When we talk about Black History Month, what comes to your mind?
I think the first thing is that Black History Month should be every day, because we need to remember all our people that fought before us, that suffered for us, and that went through difficult situation, challenges, and also celebrating them, and also look at the areas that we need to develop, amend, learn from the past so that we could move forward, learn from the mistake that our ancestors has made, and then make sure that we do not repeat the same thing. Because when you look at the African culture and African community, our royal fathers, our royal families, they have a very great role to play. Even as we were on this program, it was the my king that called, and I just sent the message that I'm on a program. So they have a lot role to play in the community, in settling conflict, in addressing the issues that has been going on in the past that shouldn't continue to go on. And one of it is FGM. Because in many African countries, FGM used to be, the perpetrator used to be the government. Because I was circumcised in the government hospital, one of my children was also circumcised in the government hospital. And I was a teacher at that time. And she was circumcised by the same midwife that delivered her. So the royal family they don't close their eyes to the suffering of the people. So we have a lot of role to play. And they cannot play it alone, so we have to work together. And I could remember the program that you were involved in organizing at Bradford University just of recent, the role of our royal family. And I was listening to our royal father from Ghana, Nana, speaking. I was totally moved.
Great. So, Mommy, in your estimation, why is it so difficult to eradicate FGM?
Because it's a cultural thing. It's not a religious thing. And it's something they do for minor. Though we have some people, because one of our clients was circumcised when she was 7 months pregnant. And we have some people that were circumcised when they were 7 years old, 4 years old, but majority are babies, 9 days old. Because I remember when I had my first child, I was told in the medical center where she was born that immediately after the following day after the naming ceremony, I need to bring her back to the maternity ward very early in the morning to do the circumcision. And that was what I did. And funny enough, our type is different from mine. It's very difficult because of the taboos associate with the associated with the FGM, because they told us so many things that are not true. For instance, they said if you are uncircumcised and you are in delivery room, you have a baby, and the head of the baby touches the clitoris, that baby will die.
Mm.
So that creates fear in the heart of women up to today, that, oh no, I will not be negligent and let my baby die after 9 months. And also, they told us in our culture not to marry to uh, to the community that they are not uncircumcised, not to marry to uncircumcised, because if a woman is not circumcised, that woman will be very, very wide, and they will be uncontrollable. So because circumcision is about controlling women,
Oh, wow.
and also it's very difficult. If I do not tell you that I'm circumcised, you will not know. It's hidden.
Yeah.
So for instance, a young lady was referred to us. She discovered she's 17 years old when she discovered that she was circumcised. She didn't know. And one of my children that was circumcised didn't know until she was over 30 years old. I came back from a meeting in London and I got to the house and I said, darling, you are a survivor just like your mom. And she turned, she said, am I? I said, of course, darling, you are. He said, that explains it. I said, explains what? And she said, the missing part. I said, what missing part? She said, mommy, I don't want to discuss it again. And the next thing she did, she went to see the midwife to examine herself to know the type. So many women, girls, are go around, they were circumcised. And she said to me, mommy, I didn't know. I have never seen another woman. How will I know? So it's eating. That's one of the problem.
Okay. We even in the Western cultures, we still have, mothers, in spite of education, awareness of the challenges associated with FGM. We still have a lot of, mothers in certain cultures, even here, sending their daughters for circumcision. And, we keep on celebrating Black History Month, trying to um, identify with our roots, and also to bring certain cultures that we deem a bit barbaric. I mean, if that's the right way to go, to say it. Things that we can also do to change certain things and try to move forward. We celebrate it every year, year on and year out. Why is it so difficult for survivors to come out? And also, what are the reasons for doing FGM? I mean, if you can educate us, because this is so important to me. And
mm.
tonight we want a lot of people, a lot of Black people watching us to be educated. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think for my husband to say some things, but I think even in Bradford, we have some clients that we say, please, I don't want my parent to know that I'm coming to you. Because why? They still believe that is the right culture. But our people often forget that culture is not static.
Okay.
So even back home, things are changing. And we need to move with the changing, because the purpose of FGM is to reduce the women's sexual freedom, and you know, according to it's about preventing the thing that will prevent early pregnancy. And when they circumcise a child, a female child, they say, oh, you are a woman now. So they don't believe that until you have done that, you are not. But we need to continue to educate people about the implication of this. You know, the pain, the cut that can never be replaced, the bleeding, the risk of infection, you know, the menstrual problem, and some women are the infertility as well, pregnancy complication, depression, anxiety, and so on. And also, we have some of our clients that they have done so many operations since they arrived in the UK as a result of FGM, and they are still. And as I as I said in one of my poem, is something that has been caught that can never be replaced. I think one of the things we need to continue to do is education, 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 education. Because condemning it do not change people's mind. Even myself, it took me 20 years to speak against it. And that is to show people how difficult it is a culture, to change a culture. 20 years, because at the beginning we thought it was an attack on our culture, until I actually visited a gynecologist that did a seminar, and he went deep than ever before with the pictures and all sort of things. And first time I said, why do we have different type? Because at the beginning I thought we only all of us are circumcised the same way. And when I saw the difference, and I said, oh, why? Why do we have the first, the second, the third, and why do you cut it and then stitch it back together? So, and I think probably Daddy want to say something
Yeah,
about why is it difficult.
yeah, yeah. Dad,
Thank you
please
very
let
much.
me hear your voice.
It's very difficult
Yeah,
because it's part of culture. Okay, it's not a religious thing, especially FGM. It's not in any religion, but because the part of you go to historical aspect of it, as my wife already said, is just to control women. But to be able, now what I notice, to be able to put an end to it, No, we did a conference, international conference in 20
15.
2015 towards eradicate FGM. So if black people can come up, people will realize that here is not an attack on our culture. It is really something that should be eradicated. But if we leave it in the hand of white people to go to Africa and talk about it, people will just think that it's an attack on their culture. And you know the way we believe, we would not like anybody to attack our culture, something we cherish.
Definitely.
But if, especially men, if they can join in the campaign, definitely it will soon come to an end. And then we need to do something about circumcisers. We have both female and the male circumcisers. They are proud of what they are doing because they get a lot of money from it. Because we have already spoken to many of them, face to face. But we would not like to expose them in the report of that conference, we cover their faces. But we know them. If we happen to go back to the place now, definitely we will speak, we will still talk to them because underneath, they are still doing it, especially in villages.
Villages, okay.
And concerning the History Month, Black History Month, I observe that I think it is done only in the Western world. And then, why is it peculiar to Black people in the diaspora? Why? If we have something to cherish, as we are doing now, say we need to remember those who did fantastic things before us. What's a Black history about? It's not about remembering those who have performed very well. It has to be with something to gear us up. Those who are coming up, especially those who have left their ancestral home, their state of their place of origin. So they are here now. So bringing people together, especially young people, those who are coming up, it will be a very good thing. So Black History Month will be a time when to talk about the achievement of those people who are still living, apart from those who have already gone. We learn from them, but what about those people who are still alive? So we have to jar them up. They have to do something. So during History Month, we have to do something to let those who are coming behind us to know that they have to do something substantial in terms of business. And thank you.
Another thing, Nana, is that in African culture, women are powerless. So is whatever the husband says that is the final. For instance, in my husband compound, I'm a stranger. In Africa, you have no voice. My sons have more voice than myself. That was the culture. And I know that the culture is changing because people are now, they are not living with their extended family anymore, even back in Africa. Job has taken people to all over the country. So that one is changing little by little. But when they go back home, somebody is the boss, and that person is not the woman, because the woman did not bring the child from their father's house. So they do not have voice. And that is another challenge. But before I finish, I wrote a very small poem on leaving it intact, because that is the name we call our FGM project when it was launched in 2014. And the name came from the survivors, that they should leaving it intact. And I will start. I feel the scar. I didn't know what happened to me. Nobody explained. Nobody talked about the missing part. When my daughter was called, I could not stop it. I could not stop my sister or my niece from being caught. Why? I was voiceless and powerless. I was told it was the best thing for her. I was unable to prevent her from harm, just like my mother couldn't. Why was I unable to protect her? Why did I allow it in the name of a culture? But now I can stop them hurting our girls. Now you can help and support us. Work with us to stop them hurting our girls. Ojú àpá kò jojú ara. A scar is not like a fresh body. Don't cut that girl. Today, I'm here to say no girl should be caught again. Nobody can give the part back. What a consolation. Don't cut her. Leave it intact. Listen, I'm talking to you. We are survivors. Who will be the last victim? We are looking for the last victim, the last to be caught. Leave it intact.
Wow. Wow. That is so, so touching and very, very strong as well. Dodi, I know you've written the first book in your language. I think it's a dictionary. I'm not too sure.
A book, yes.
Correct me.
Monolingual dictionary.
Yes, monolingual dictionary, and that's so phenomenal. What can we do to preserve our culture and also our heritage as well? Anytime we talk about Black History Month, what can we do, to ensure continuity?
Okay. For us to be able to continue, we must know where we are coming from.
Okay.
Because if we don't know what happened in the past, it will be very difficult to move forward. But we have to remember our root. Because a tree that forget its root will just dry. Okay? Continuity. But we must embrace changes, but continuity very important. We have just mentioned the language now. Language, just like any other thing, can die. It grows and can die. I always mention Latin to people. Nobody speaks Latin again. It's now language of the book. Can only read it. And not many people can read it. Those who went to grammar school before us in the late 60s, they were able to study Latin in school. Why should he die? Because nobody speak it again. So it's the same thing with African languages. We have to, because you will see that many people prefer to speak English or French or Arabic all over Africa. They are little by little, they forget about their own mother tongue. Because when we were growing up in primary school, they would tell us, don't speak vernacular.
Yeah.
So continuity, if we want people to continue to speak the language or to carry on with the culture, we must be able to document what we have. And one way of doing that is about that monolingual dictionary. What we have before the monolingual dictionary. It's a form of translation from English. They will say English Yoruba, then Yoruba English. But this time now, it's just like Oxford Dictionary. The Oxford Dictionary is written in English and the explanation also in English. So this dictionary Yoruba Aláwòrán, written in Yoruba, the word, the item to be explained, and the explanation. So pure Yoruba is just to be able to encourage people, because many people cannot write the language with good spelling that we call orthography. They can't write it again. They just write because it's their mother tongue. They know how to speak it. They can just put it down. But the what we can call the writing, the writing is not standardized. People just write anything. So if you want to standardize it, we want the language to be written the same way as we do with English today. There must be something to follow. Thank you.
Thank you. Mommy, do you think that there's enough being done to recognize Black voices?
I think we need to do a lot more, because a lot of Black people are doing things unrecognized under difficult circumstances. Because it's not an easy thing to leave your own country and go to a country where many of us do not have extended family. You have nobody that you can just call. And that is the reason why the needs of Africans are different from other communities, because Africans do not have, many of us do not have our extended family here. You are on your own. If you are going out, you go with all your children. So, and for many Black people, they have gone through a lot difficult and survived. And we need to celebrate them. We need to notice them. We need to support them. And we also need to work together as a community. And I was saying that because I was talking to somebody that one of the things that we want to see in Bradford and in the UK as part of the African strategy is that when you see, for instance, if you see a Nigerian passed away, you will only see Nigerians there. If you see a Congolese passed away, you will only see Congolese there. So African is over 54 countries. It's 54 countries. And we need to learn how to work together as a community. The Black community need to learn how to work together, and we need to support one another. We need to stop unhealthy competition, and we need to stop the gatekeepers that are preventing the Black community from moving forward, because people have done a lot and they need to celebrate, and they too need to make sure they bring people that are coming behind, they lift them up. So, and yes, I agree. Black people are not celebrated enough. And we need to, one of the way to celebrate them is what you have done tonight. So, because without you, who will have done that? So, and all of you that you are doing this, you are doing this type of program, we need to celebrate you too. We need to acknowledge you. We need to support the program. And we need to say, well done. We need to encourage empowerment is key to development within the Black community, so that when the money comes to the Black community, it will stay there. So we need the support mechanism need to be there. And we need to stop individualism. So we need to make sure if something happen to one African, one person within our community. It happened to all of us, just like other communities are doing. We don't need to say, oh, what's he doing? What is he doing there? Why is it this one? Without any question, without complaining, we need to rally around and support our people. For instance, some of us that we don't have young children, and the people that have young children, we can support them and say, oh, if you are going out and I'm available, I don't mind looking after your children for you and your husband to go out. So, there have to be changes within our community. I don't know what that you think.
Yes. We need to embrace one another. Very important that we don't have extended family in the UK. So it's part of what Peacemaker International is doing. We always point it out that all of our projects, all of them, part is that about 75% targeted on Africa because and Black people in general, because we do not have extended family. That is, that organization is serving as extended family. People cry out, even today, people telephone to say this is what was going on in their lives, and they know that somebody will listen and make them happy. That is, there's no grandmother they could go to, no grandfather to go to, but they can come to an organization. So we need more, grand root organization that will be able to help our people. So we must know that if we don't have a family here that could support us, we can come together and support one another. And that's one of the essence of Peacemaker International. Thank you.
Yeah, because I know you've done a lot, to put people, on the forefront. Many a times we see people just doing it, their individual stuff. Sometimes for their personal gain, not for the communal good. And here you are always for Africa and not for Nigeria. Even though you're from Nigeria, there's nothing about you. I'll say that all the time you are advocating for proper unity among Africans. I just want to ask, have you faced any challenges in trying to bring all Africans together instead of just that kind of individualism? Where people trying to seek their own personal gain. Have you encountered any challenges in trying to bring all of us together for a common good? Have you faced any challenges? And if so, do you mind sharing some of this? Not all, but maybe some.
Thank you. Every work every work has its own challenges. There's always a challenge when you are a social justice fighter and when you believe in equality and equity, and when you think that people shouldn't be treated unfairly regardless of wherever they are from. I believe that there are a lot of challenges we face in Bradford,
Okay.
especially when we were campaigning for recognition for Africa. And the reasons some people do not, it was that time, even I remember the first meeting we had in my office, we have about 35 people. We have somebody from racial equality. And for the first time, he realized that where African is and where other in the world map. And he realized when he listening to people explaining the challenges they face and the lack of extended family, lack of understanding, that actually this community is very marginalized. And one of the key things that, because I'm from a royal family, and we were taught that you don't, it's not about fighting for yourself. You need to look at the needs of the community. And that is always in my heart, that in any African countries, let us say we have one person from a country in Africa, and we have another African country that we have 1,000. That one person is as important as where you have 1,000. And I believe that you are not a blessing until you actually help people that are not from your family. If you are only helping people who are your family, you are not a blessing. And we need to learn that from the society where we are in the United Kingdom. Because now they won't tell you, if you want to get a job, that you are an Irish, you can't get this job, you are Scottish, you can't get this job, or you are from London, you are not from Yorkshire. But within the different African countries, there is a lot of prejudice, there is a lot of tribalism, there is a lot of discrimination. And when people come to this country, they often carry that baggage. So, and we have to call ourselves together in working together and educate ourselves and say, look, we are in a different environment. We have a lot of things to learn from here to transform our community. If I say because I'm from Nigeria, I only work with some Nigeria, because with my own experience, and I was over 30 years before I left Nigeria, and I was a teacher there. I was a teacher in primary and secondary school. So I said many of us from Nigeria were not taught how to love African, because we call ourselves giant of Africa. So we have to educate ourselves about, because when we started the fighting for recognition of Africa, we have to ask people, what are the things that the other African countries do to celebrate Africa? And we heard about African Day, and that even some African countries, they have it as a public holiday. We say, okay, this is an opportunity for us. And one of the reasons why it's important for Africans to come together is about addressing the issue. There are some specific issues that affect us that nobody else can resolve. One of it is FGM, AIDS, war in different African countries. And then when people come from different African countries, they come here. And if care is not taken and we don't work on the community cohesion, people will carry that conflict back into the UK. So, and it will be like the fire, the roof on the fire. So some people we hate you. Some people will think by bringing African together we cause division. And I always explain to them, if in the United Kingdom it will not, it will actually help the community cohesion, because if we can recognize Bangladesh, Pakistani, India, Kashmir, and so on, and Chinese, because if you I put Africans in the position of women when women were not recognized in this country, and the women before us fought for all that, and we are now enjoying it to be a woman. So if we are not doing that to bring Africans together and say, let us do this, we need to understand the culture in this country. It is then we will be able to relate to other people other communities, and we need to work. It's not about working in isolation. It's about working together and work with other community. It's not because African is a very big continent. Now, in this country, if you say, oh, we want African on the table, and then we have 54 African countries, if we cannot work together as a community and have one or two people that can go and represent us, how could we have 54 people on the table? So that was one of the reasons why it was important for us, for Africans to work together to understand the system in this country and also contribute to the development of this country. And that was the reason that the collection of my poem, I call it Britain, a Beloved Nation. Another poem. So it's our beloved nation, because in the nation where you are living, that is your home. This is our home. We may have another home where we all come from, but this is where we are, and we have to work for the development of this country by working together and make sure that nobody tarnishes our image. That is the image of the continent. Yeah, there are some challenges. There are some people that will hate you. There are some people that are benefiting from that marginalization, and they do not want the community to come together. But that is life.
Wow. Anyway, before we go on, I just want to say a big thank you to, Glitz and Glamour for my talk tonight, and also, my makeup, was, done by Joanne Opoku, and her company is called Milk and Honey Beauty, and she's also a mobile makeup artist. If you want her to come and, prep you up very, very nicely, her number is 074 9631 8713. 074 9631 8713. Thank you. And the company is called Milk and Honey Beauty. Yeah, if you need her for any occasion, please call her. She's, my daughter, and I just want to support her. And so please, let's support her own as well. Yeah. Anyway, back to you, Mommy and Daddy. You've done well, by bringing all of us together. And we do appreciate you so, 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 so much. Mommy, I know that, you've done so much. And, many a times you are the only African woman sitting on certain boards, such as, trustee and, vice chair at the Manningham House Association, graduate of Common Purpose, and also director at the Racial Equality Council, and many, many other boards. Was there a time that you felt a bit intimidated by being the only Black person, or was it a time that your skin color became an issue for you? Because many a times we hide behind the race card, racism. And so it's like we don't see beyond that. So many a times we are so scared to soar high. Here you are on many boards, many platforms as well. And I think I've met you on, at several functions as well. At what point, have you been, you felt your color was an issue? I mean, just talk to us about, that journey with us, so that many people can learn.
There are so many times, even at work. I remember when I was a governor in a school, and I remember that anytime there is season of racism, they will call me to come and resolve it. And I said, wait a minute, all of us supposed to know something about racial discrimination or racial issue, not just me. Um, that's one. But most of the time, I remember I was a board of director for a certain organization within the Black community, and they were about to organize an event, and they told me I will be representing all the women in the Black community. I said, me alone representing all the women? I said, but thank God your manager is a woman and is a Black person and is within the community. Oh, they said, but he's a member of staff. Ah. And I find it very difficult to understand. That was one. But everything is about educating people to say, this is how it is, this is how it is. And sometimes people, there was an issue in Bradford where somebody contacted me, once was asking me to testify to support her on what I didn't know. But I said no. And I have to face the consequences. And and so there are some challenges when you are, and that is the reason. That is one of the reasons bringing ourselves together, to because we have so many leaders, not to be isolated leaders. God, let us come together. We all need to understand the system. We need to understand how the system works, and we need to have a lot of people, all of us, working together. Look at Apostle John.
Yeah.
Yeah, John. He's also one of our champion on the FGM. So also the Councillor Joan Dodds and Anila Ahmed. So it's about working together. So I've been I've been a board of director of many people that are very wonderful, that are very, very supportive. One of them is community action. Very, very supportive. When I was the vice chair of Manningham Housing Association, very, very supportive, because I have another man, Enyori, also a Black man. I was the only Black woman there. But they were very, very supportive. And then even sometimes when I face challenges and I feel that I was treated back, differently, and then they were all such a supportive and challenge it and said, no, that shouldn't have happened. This actually, we need to put things in place. And we work together in order to make sure anybody that come to us, they were all treated the same way, regardless of their gender or ethnicity. So, and I think the most important thing is about educating, raising awareness, be proactive within Peacemaker International. That was, I think, the knowledge I gained from different setting and from different community also helped me in treating people from different community with passion, and because we have a lot to learn from different community. And I always say one of the best things that I've done in my life, that we have done for our children, is to make sure our children mix with all different community, not just for Nigeria. So, but to learn from different community, so that they don't just say that when they start working, they just jump into the world of different community. And our family is an international family, because one of my sons married from Caribbean, and my daughter married white, my son married white. I don't know where the other one is going. So, so we are we are an international family. So when they got married, we all traveled. Though it's from the Jamaica, but when they wanted to marry, they said they were going to Cuba. Cuba. So we all pack our bag and travel, to Cuba for their wedding. So, we have a lot of things to learn. But what we need to run away from is taking people for granted and also treat other people. And I believe my ideology is that even when you are a Black person, we must respect you. We must promote you. We mustn't take it for granted. I say, oh, Blacks should treat we can treat one another any way we like. I don't support that. We must respect our Black people that in higher position, that are doing wonderful job like you are doing. So we must respect them. We must promote them. We must support them. So, and the same to go with other people. So, and
Hmm.
Yeah.
One thing that I would like to add is that those who are just coming, because many of them are coming now. Some are coming because they have promised them that there will be a job for them. Some they will say they come to do masters. So we need to let them know that they need integration. They have to learn quickly how to integrate. Why is it important? When they integrate, they will be able to understand. Some of them will come, and the next 50 years, they will be here. Their
Yeah.
family will be established here. Anything will happen in the process, but we have to integrate. If you don't integrate, we not understand. Because Black people need to understand the culture, the white culture, the culture of where you are. Because if you want to say, we want to behave exactly as we do in African countries, we will fail. So we have to behave in one way or another, certain percentage, certain degree of
Yeah.
the Western culture. That is, we have to carry part of white culture.
and as
It's
well
important.
as teaching the wider society
Yes,
about our
our
culture,
own culture.
because
Yes,
we have so many beautiful things, beautiful culture, beautiful way of treating people,
beautiful dressing. Yes,
beautiful dresses, art and culture. There are so many good in African culture that I admire and I love. Look at the event at the university
yes.
that I was involved. It was great to see our royal family, to see the great thing, the culture.
With their regalia. Yes,
Yes, so we have beautiful culture that we need to, and I love that because many white people supported our culture and they want to learn about our culture. And then now the Bradford 20 City of Culture, we need to stand out, and we need to stand out not one country but African countries. Africa needs to stand out.
so that
Not only Nigeria, not only Cameroon, not only Ghana, not only Sierra Leone, but Africa. Africa. And people that need to promote that, they need to understand the African culture. They need to understand and promote it as a united front.
Great. Well, yes, I'm so learning. Um, Dr. Joel, we cannot talk about Black History Month without talking about our young boys. I know you are, you've worked with the youth many years ago, which you do sometimes. And I know, you're trying also to pass on, the baton to the young generation. At the rate that our young boys, and the crime rate, and as a result, they get imprisoned, many of them, it's on the news most of the times. We get to read, we get to, listen, we get to watch all the time. When we talk about Black History Month, what can we do to bring this awareness? And then when we bring this awareness, what can we do to support our youth? And also to make the Black History Month, worth celebrating, because we can feel proud to celebrate this month knowing very well that our young men are whole. Daddy?
Okay. One thing that we need to do is we say charity begins at home or from home. We need to do something about how we bring up our children in this part of the world. It's different from what is going on back home in Africa, many African countries. So the way they handle children over there definitely different from, because here now you are not expected to cane your children. You are not expected to smash them, but at the same time, we need to let them learn good things. So from home, we always say it to parents when they come to our organization. Do not say anything bad about those white people who are teaching your children, because your children will not be able to learn if you yourself you hate white people. You don't leave the country, you are here, you are benefiting from here, but when you talk to your children in the home, in the house, when you are together, you only talk about the racism, about how they hate us, about colonization, about this and that, something that will make them hate white people. If we do that, if we continue to do that, our children will not learn. Integration will not happen if we continue to let our children hate other communities. Not white alone. In some families, they will, the way they will handle their children, the children will not be able to like any other people, and they will be living together like Bradford, which is a multi-religious, multicultural. If you do not like to see other people, there's no way you will achieve much in a place like, because you would not like to go to Osla Market, you won't like to go to Broadway, because definitely you will see many people inside there. And that is part of it, because when you hate, the next thing is to attack. You hate somebody, you will not think good of that person. The next thing is to think about evil. So for our children, we have to let them know that there are many things they cannot go away with here. They must be law abiding. We must obey the law. We must obey the rule. Over there in some places, even those who have no license would like to drive, let them know that if they do, they will be in trouble. There are many things they cannot just escape. So if we do that from home, definitely it will be on the children when they go out. We know all over the world, evil things happen, bad things happen, but what we do with our children at home is very, very important. So for our Black History Month, it will be part of the training about the talks, about what we have to tell those who are coming behind us, because we know that little things, because people believe that Black people are targeted. I don't say it's not, but if we behave ourselves, there was a time about maybe 15 years ago, I was driving. This policeman, not flashing, stopped me, and I came out. He said, are you allowed to drive in this country? I said, yes. I said, with low voice, I said, what do you need to show that I can drive in this country? Have I done anything bad? He said, no, you didn't do anything bad, but I'm just doing, it's just sampling that we can just stop anybody. It could be anybody. I didn't see that you are Black. I just stopped you. I said, yes, I have driving license. You want to see it? And I show him. No fighting. His assumption was that I won't have, maybe, that I didn't have a driving license. So we must be able to teach those who are coming behind to run away from crime. crime crime doesn't just happen. So people must grow up, children must grow up to learn how to obey the law. If you want to do business, it has to be done the way they do it in this country. That is when you can progress. So, and it should be part of what we have to teach our children and point out during Black History Month, so that we will not be the target and the prison will not be full of Black people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you too, Baba. Um, you know, we are gradually coming to the end of our, discussion, and you kept on, talking about integration, diversity and also inclusion. Um, we are so particular about it, but then, many a times when you are being given the opportunity to shine, we don't even take up those opportunities. I mean, what can we do, like tonight? What kind of message do you want to leave with the African community?
I I want to the message I want to use is that African community, Black community, we need to work together to move forward. And we also, I also want to encourage the parents. They need to love their children. This is not African where you can just leave your children at home. This is not a place where you can just cane your children. This is not a place where you can just close your eyes when they tell you that your child is doing something wrong. I will give you an example. A parent was told that your child is using drug, and he said, "Oh, my child is okay. Your child has this disability. No, my child is okay," until that child actually end up in prison. So we need to, because if you don't show love to your children at home, they will show love to that children outside home, and that children will fall into the wrong hand. African community, we need to work together, not country by country. Country by country, they can have their group, but they need to work together with the wider African community. Not just say this is Nigeria community, this is Ghana community, this is Zimbabwe community, this is this community, and no join up approach. There must be join up approach, because if not, many of us, many people will be disadvantaged within that community. And I also want us to promote more Africans, young people, old people, middle-aged people that are doing wonderful things within the community. Home training is very, very important. Teaching our young people, our children, and also parents, calm down when there is a situation. Because sometimes where people are not expected to fight, they will fight. And they will find themselves behind the law. So we need to have respect for rules and regulations in the country, and we need to work together and work with other community. And as Daddy said, do not condemn other community in the presence of your children, because you cannot learn from people you hate. Some people have no respect for women because of what their parents are saying in front of them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Didi. Do you think Black history um, should be included in our children's in the curriculum in schools?
I think Black History Month should be and should be celebrated by everyone, not just Black. It's like when you are campaigning against racism and you only bring Black people together. So everyone should be celebrating Black History Month, not just only Black.
Great.
And apart
Didi, do
from
you have
what
anything?
happened,
Yeah, sorry.
okay, apart from what happens during the Black History Month, we should, about curriculum we are talking about now, there should be somewhere in the, what they will be teaching our children, you know, something about those people who have contributed to the economic development, social development, medical development of this nation.
This, yeah.
So we need to learn about them. So that will be part of history because many people have done very well, and our children need to know about them. Not only slavery. Yes.
Because many Black people fought along the Western armies during
During
Second World War.
Yes.
So that need to be embedded in our curriculum.
Great. Because of time, we might have to end tonight's discussion. But just looking at both of you, you're growing stronger together day by day, looking beautiful all the time. We see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Always, being proud of Africa, wearing your your attire, African prints and everything, showcasing African, everywhere. Just tell us your secret. You've been married for a long time. You've got, many grandchildren, and not just your own. You have many daughters across the world, many sons across the world. We just want to know what drives both of you.
I was brought up to love people without expecting anything back. And I grew up from a family that there is love.
Okay.
And my father taught me never to look at myself that because I'm a woman, there is something that I can never do. And also, my father, as somebody from royal family, do not believe in accepting something if they want to divide inheritance. Because it happened one time that somebody was having heavy yam. They packed yam and they were bringing, and my father said, I'm not accepting anything because the next 2 weeks we are going to divide your father's belongings. So, the way we bring up, we were brought up, the way we bring our children up is very, very important. When you see people, the type of family they are from. And that is the reason why I admire you, the way you promote the culture. You promote African culture, Nana. And I cherish that and admire that. I emulate that because not many people you see in the Western world that we do that. And we mustn't forget our culture.
Yeah. You ask question about what is it, something that bring us together for so long? Okay.
At least a secret, because we want to learn from you.
Yeah, what can we say? It's the mercy of God, the grace of God, the love of God. Tolerance is very important
in marriage.
In marriage, some people will say if you read the thing I compiled when my wife was celebrating 60th birthday. You know, there's a column. I can't remember the page. You know, different, two people, different character, different behaviors, different things. And I didn't show that the item in the right on the right hand side is for either of us. I just want people to look and see that these are just opposing something out. So somebody loves to buy books, somebody loves to read books. Who is that one? You will not know. There are many other things. And then we say, do they argue at all? Yes, we argue. Yeah, argue. Some people will say, how do you manage to cope for because we met 1974, and that is when we celebrate
Whoa. Well,
1974 on the Easter Sunday, 1974. So it's not
that's
something I can forget.
beautiful. That's
Yes,
beautiful.
my friend said that this lovely young girl, if you don't approach her, we will take, and they came from another town. We will come to your town here, and she will become our girlfriend. That will be the end if you don't approach her. And I said, yes, this Easter, because I was teaching far away, and they follow me home. So those friends, force me more or less. Say you have to talk to this young lady, young girl, can say yes, because she was a friend of my brother's girlfriend that time, and it's okay. And we approach, and since that time, everything has been together because God is there. For instance, now people will be talking about cooking. I at least up to 60% I can cook myself. If I'm the first one to come home, I will start to cook something. I will not just wait to say yes. When my wife comes, that is when we will eat. No, I won't do that. But definitely she will do more than I could do because there are some food I will not be able to prepare. So we have been together
Since
even since
1970.
1970. Let us say since that time, yes. Even as a
Wow.
girlfriend, boyfriend.
But
Wow.
the only thing is that I am more uh, strong with the women and the children,
Okay.
because I take the children as a representative of the family,
Family.
and I want them to have home training.
Yeah.
So I correct the children more than my husband.
Too strict with them.
I'm very strict with them. And the children knew if I see something wrong in them, I won't hide it. I will tell them straight away.
Even up to today.
Up to today.
Those who are above 40.
They will sometimes they will be begging me, mommy, please don't say anything, mommy, don't say anything. So that made somebody when in the school that our first daughter went, and one of our teachers said to us, if you won't be an insult, I will have asked you to let me adopt your daughter. Because anytime we say thank you, they will say, oh, don't thank us, we should be thanking her. To the extent that when our daughters finish our A levels, the school sent us a letter that they want somebody else from our family. So our brother went to that school as a request from the school.
Wow. Well done.
So because they are our future, so we have to look into that.
And then my wife is pleasant anyway.
Oh, of course.
Yes,
Mommy is so pleasant.
she's
Mommy is so pleasant. I mean,
yes,
it
she's
takes
pleasant.
everyone on board. As a
Yes.
whole.
Even when I argue that I don't want something, she will know how to go about it that that thing will be done.
But
I may not like it, but it will
the
be done.
only thing I hide from my husband since we met was his 58th birthday. We organized his 58th birthday, and that was 22 years ago.
Mhm.
Uh, he didn't know. And I was cooking. He said, why are you cooking all this? I said, a friend wanted to celebrate her husband's 58th birthday and didn't want the husband to know. He didn't know he was the only one. Why? So one day while we are discussing, I was discussing with other children. My last born knew that something was going on, but he wasn't. We didn't tell her because he was young. And then he said, "I want to know what is going on." I said, "Now I want to tell you, but you mustn't allow your dad to know."
And she didn't.
And she didn't. So at the day we got ready, our traditional ofi, we wore it, and I said we go. Until when we got there, it was then that he knew that he was the celebrant, and he couldn't understand how we kept it from him, that all the preparation and everything.
Well done.
I say somebody
Yes.
hurt me some years ago. My wife will say, well, we have to forget about that.
And because when
Yes.
you forgive people, it's not about them, it's about you. You want to,
Forget about.
you don't want to be carrying baggage with you. Some
Yeah.
people, some people will say, "Oh, mommy," because some people will say, "Oh, you have so many children." Oh, yes, I said that is our culture. Everyone are my children. Everyone are my mom, my dad, and my auntie, uncle.
Including Nana.
Yes.
Oh, I
Even
think
she's
now I'm the
a
firstborn.
she's a special daughter.
Yes.
She's a special daughter. So, and that is part of our culture. That is part of what we need to portray. When I see you as my sister, my uncle, my auntie, my dad, because you need to to be happy in life. You need to forget what people have done to you so that you'll be able to achieve what God has ordained you to achieve.
And I always like people who can do what I could not do. So that's another thing that has kept us together. So yes, what she's good about, I may not be good about it.
And another thing is that if you are in the Western world and husband and wife, they do not get home, they will soon die. Because it's true. When the is hot outside there, you need somebody inside to console you. When you face an attack outside there, which you will, unless you are not growing. When you are growing, when you are developing, people will attack you. Personal attack will happen. Spiritual attack will happen. Mental attack will happen. Emotional attack will happen. The person you help all your life, you don't think they will do something bad to you, they will do it. But when you help people without any expectation, so you will be disappointed, but you without anything, you will pick yourself up again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
God bless you.
For the program.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. God will be with you.
Amen.
Amen.
You will be highly honored.
Amen.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Thank
Anyone
you.
watching us, we are talking to the CEOs of Peacemaker International. Mommy, if anybody wants to know more about your organization, where can they find it? Where can they find you as well? To know more about what you do in the community.
Yeah. If they want to
know that you've written a lot of journals as well. If anybody wants to reach out to you, where can they find you?
If they want to know more, Peacemaker International is www.peacemakerinternational.com, and they can reach me on the phone 07401 222 557, and that is 07401 222 557. And they can also follow us on our social media on Peace. That is our Facebook, Pen Peace. And our Instagram is International Peacemaker. And our LinkedIn also is Peacemaker _ Inter, INTL.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If anybody wants to reach out to Peacemakers International and to be of a blessing to them, please, they've actually left their numbers here with us, and also their email address or addresses, and also their Facebook handles and other social media handles. Sorry, that you can actually reach out to them. Tonight we've been educated on FGM, on how we can also ensure continuity of our culture and also on our heritage, and also how we can integrate very, very well, and also the unity of Africa, and how women can aspire to do well in our communities, because we cannot talk about Black history without talking about all these important topics. And I am so honored to have a royal all the way from Nigeria, and also Baba Joel.
Thank you.
To come and I'm so happy and also humbled, for you to be my guest tonight.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
on behalf of all African, citizens, we say thank you for
You're
paving the
welcome.
way.
Thank you so much.
Please make time and visit, their office, and you'll be amazed at the volume of work they've done. Topics that is a no-go area, they've written jobs. They've put their necks on the line for us. Please let us celebrate Mr. and Mrs. Fagborun. We should hold them so close to our hearts in Bradford, and not just Bradford alone, internationally. Let us, celebrate them, because
Thank you very much.
you cannot, you cannot talk about Africa in the Western world without, actually mentioning their names. They are from Nigeria, but they don't do anything representing Nigeria. They do everything and anything to make sure that Africa stays united. And these are the role models that we want in our communities. And tonight, we've been served well. We've been served well. So to everyone that has stayed with us till now, I say thank you so much for your company. Thank you. We have a lot of comments. I think I've seen Anila, supporting you tonight. Anila, wherever you are, I say thank you for your company. I've seen Apostle John Opoku. I say thank you as well. And I've seen, I've seen FAJ. I say also thank you. And many comments. I can't read everybody's comment. I say thank you for your company tonight. And please share this interview, and let us celebrate our own. Let us celebrate our dear mother. Let us celebrate our own father as well, Dr. Joel Benga in Fagborun, and also our MBE, Princess Yemi Fagborun. Mami Dorcas, say thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for the invitation. God bless you.
Thank you.
God bless Africa.
Yeah. You see? God bless Africa. Thank you. So you stay blessed and stay connected as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
See you again.